good evening, and welcome to Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and podcast, where we inspire, we encourage, and we empower you to live a fulfilling and blessed lifestyle. Well, I'm Anna. I am your host. I am an educational consultant. I am a retired teacher. I'm an author. I'm also a jewelry consultant. I dibble and dabble a little bit in health and wellness. And I'm a certified cake instructor. So I bring to you a wealth of knowledge and experience to our conversations. So each week we delve into episodes and topics that will enrich our lives from personal development to health and wellness, as well as just things to make our life better. And we do it in all kind of areas, physical, emotional. And so, excuse me, this evening we're just want to sit back and just kind of relax a little bit, and just talk about the little things. So that's basically what this episode is going to be about to this evening. So again, I want to thank you for joining me as we explore inspiring stories, expert insights, and practical advice to help you live a fulfilling and blessed lifestyle. And I know I didn't say how I do these things, but I do it by giving knowledge. I give it by inviting guest speakers on. Um, I give it by doing workshops. So thank you again for tuning in to Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast, where every conversation is a treasure. So let's begin. Um, I started a new series because the reason that I started that new series is that I wanted my audience to be able to participate and to give their feedback. It can't always be my feedback or a guest speaker or something. You can be the guest speaker. And so that is what this series is all about: coffee, cake, and conversations with Anna. So we have a few people that have tuned in and said they say keep up the good work. Byron says hi. He's here. Okay. Thank you for coming. And we have Henry, I think, says hi as well. So we're going to kind of go ahead and get started. So if you just now tuning in, I want to say welcome to Coffee, Cakes, and Conversations with Anna, where every conversation reminds us that life is filled with lessons, laughter, and blessings. I'm Anna, and tonight I'd like to ask you a simple question. I'm gonna try to stay with my notes tonight, y'all. I'm gonna try not to get. I'm gonna try not to get ahead of them. Okay. I'm gonna try. So, I'd like to ask you just a simple question. Where, when was the last? When was the best time you celebrated something small? When was the best time that you celebrated something small? Just give you a few moments there. As well. And when I say that, I don't mean a promotion. I don't mean a birthday. And I don't mean a vacation. Just one of those everyday moments that makes you smile. Think about it. You know, sometimes we rush through life chasing the next big thing. How many of you have done? I know I have done it. I don't know about you, but I know that we forget to appreciate what's already right in front of us. So tonight, we're going to slow down and we're going to find the little things in life that are sweet. So, you know, I got a presentation, so I'm going to bring it up. And for you, oh, excuse me. I'm gonna bring a present. I'm having a little, okay, here we go. All right. The little things that make life sweet. Finding joy in everyday moments. Mm-mm-mm. I think about this a lot because, you know, sometimes people think that joy has to be expensive, but it does not. So, joy doesn't have to be expensive. I've learned that some of my happiest moments didn't cost anything, y'all. A beautiful sunset. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, it's been a long time since I've seen a beautiful sunset. But I can remember when I was dating that I would, I live near water. I live near, you know, beaches and stuff. And we would go out, and then we would go to the beach and watch the sunrise. Oh, it was just beautiful, you all. Oh, it was beautiful. Beautiful. So Frank joined us. He's sending me some hearts, thank you. And he also said the chest is the most important thing. It might be. Uh, Joy doesn't have to be expensive. Fresh flowers blooming in the garden, and most of you all know that I am a garden if you follow me. So I'm going to ask that you follow. If you don't follow me, I'm going to ask that you follow me, you like, you share, and even subscribe to all of my platforms so that you can kind of get to know a little bit more about me. Um, Hearing a child's laugh, you know, a little child or a little baby laughing, it's that's a sweet moment, y'all. I know you know it is because sometimes you all say, "Oh," you know how you know how you do. But also sharing desserts with family. You know, I'm a dessert person, so I share. I don't really eat desserts, you all, but I make them. You know, I'm a very good dessert maker, and but I do share my desserts that I make as well. Receiving an unexpected call. Now that is so rewarding to me as well. So these moments remind me that joy is often found in the ordinary. Joy is often found in the ordinary. So here's a reflection. You know, I'm a reflection girl. What simple thing made you smile this week? What simple thing made you smile this week? Put it down there in the comment section. Think about it. I'm going to go on to my favorite simple joys because these are some of the things that make me smile, or my simple joys. So I'm going to share mine with you. I want you to share yours with me, but I'm going to share mine with you. So, my favorite simple joys. Yeah, a fresh cup of coffee in the morning. Oh my God. It seems like I can't function until I have that first cup. And I usually drink 2 cups. The first cup is just for pleasure. It's just there. I just love it. And then the second cup, I usually take my medicines with that. And I already told you, like, baking for family and friends, I love to bake for my family and my friends. And hearing them say, "Ooh, you know that cake that you made, it was on task." You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm a cake instructor. I taught cake decorating for 20 years, you all. Along with teaching school, you know what I'm saying? And that was a rewarding experience as well. Now, I'm going to tell you that my baking experience started around 7 or 8 years old, but I was not a decorative baker. And it was in my later years that I became a decorative baker. Okay? And I have baked cakes and taken them over to my family's events, and I come back, the cake is still there. They told me it was too pretty to cut. Now, what kind of mess is that? But anyway, um, some of my other simple favorite joys are sewing, quilting, or knitting. And if you follow me on, Facebook, and I will put my Facebook thing down there. But if you follow me on Facebook, because I do show those things on Facebook, I do go live on Facebook with my jewelry and all, those things like that. But I also show my hobbies, my interests. Because I'm an avid sewer. I've been sewing as long as I've been baking. And that's the truth. Quilting is something that I developed later on in life. My mother got me started quilting. My grandmother quilted and so forth. And so it's a tradition that I am trying to carry on, as well as the knitting and crocheting. I do quite a few things, uh, um, cross stitch, needlepoint, a lot of a lot of hobbies, and these are like crafts and things that I feel are important, that we need them. We don't use them as much as we used to use them. They were lifesavers for me. My sewing, and I'm so grateful for my mom for putting me into sewing, and because my sewing and my knitting and my crocheting, they helped me out. I made sweaters and my clothes and all of those things. So um the next one, spending time in the garden, y'all. you know if you saw my live yesterday, I came on, I don't know which one it was, but I did talk about I had been outside all day in the garden. I like to garden. I grew up in the South, and in the South, we had gardens, and I don't mean little gardens. We had vegetable gardens, we had flower gardens, because we could cut flowers and bring them in the house, and you know, and herb garden, fruit garden, fruit trees, all of those things. So I try to put a little of that in my life. So I planted a few things out there. Not as I really wanted to do better this year than I did before, but it was a rainy season, so I was a little late in planting things. So we're just gonna keep our fingers crossed because that is all of what gardening is, trial and error. So and this here is one of my favorite things, recording my um, podcast. And I was blessed. That's why it's called Sweet Blessings, because I was blessed to get this podcast. Evidently, someone felt that I had a message that needed to get out and relayed. I have been going live for quite some time, but I want to say this to my listeners, and that is, whatever you fear, jump into it. Don't let it overcome you. Now, I feared going live, just getting on Facebook, going live, and I don't know. People would say to me, "Well, you teach school, you talk every day to the kids." But I do. But it was a different experience for me. And so I had to overcome that fear. And you know how they always say you go to therapy or something? I didn't actually go to therapy, but I got involved with a challenge group that went live. And that's why I feel comfortable going live. Uh, I encourage other people, just be yourself. People love you for you. Okay? But I did do a journey of my mother when she had dementia. I lost my mother in 2021. But before that, and if you go and you look on YouTube, you'll see some of the uh, um, videos and things that I did, because I wanted people to understand that uh, dementia is a disease just like anything else, just like cancer or anything. And I don't. People should not put a stigma on it. And they're not crazy. They're just sick. They're sick. They've lost some of their abilities, and it's just as nerve wracking to them as it is to you if you are a caregiver. And I tell many people that you don't understand what it feels like to be a caregiver until you are a a care a caregiver. So I said I was only going to tell one story about me, but I've told quite a few. But that's okay. That's okay. When you live as long as I have lived, you have stories to tell. But at this point, we need to take a brief commercial. And so we're going to take that brief commercial. And then when we come back from that commercial, we're going to talk a little bit about gratitude and how we can share our sweetness. All right, we're back. I'm Anna. I am your host of Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast, where we inspire, we encourage, and we empower you to live a fulfilling and blessed lifestyle. And before we went to commercial, we were talking about the the simple, your favorite simple joys. And so I gave you a few of my simple joys. Unfortunately, we didn't have anyone to make any comments that I can see about their simple joys as well. But it's never too late, so whenever you feel like you want to share one of your simple joys, go right ahead. Okay, so I told you when we came back that we were going to talk about gratitude. You know, gratitude changes everything, y'all. Gratitude has a way of changing our perspective. When we intentionally notice the blessings around us, our hearts become lighter. The more we appreciate, the more we realize how much we already have been given. So I got a call to action. I'm busy this evening, y'all, as you can see. I would like for you to keep a gratitude list for a week. Just a week. And each day, daily, you're going to write down 3 things that you're grateful for. I don't care how you write it down. When I do my journal, sometimes I get up in the morning and write down one thing. And then midday, I might write down another thing. And then in the evening, before I go to bed, I might write down another thing. But it is up to you how you write it down. And then share it. 3 things. I mean, you don't have to share your whole list. You know, share some of the things that you're grateful for. It's a gratitude list. Just keep it for a week. You're going to be surprised how blessed you are. You're going to be surprised. Because sometimes we forget. We truly, truly do forget. And then the next thing, share the sweetness. One of the sweetest gifts we can give is encouragement. A kind word, a handwritten note, a smile. Have you ever walked down the street and just smiled at somebody? When you smile at them, they smile back. They can be as grumpy, looking all mean, but you smile at them and they'll smile back. You don't need any conversation. A phone call. It's many a times that I haven't heard from someone, and guess what? I call them. I said, girl, I ain't heard from you. I ain't heard from you. No, I didn't see you, and so I thought I would check on you. So just a simple phone call. A compliment. Let's not forget about those compliments, y'all. Small acts of kindness leave the biggest impact. The biggest impact. Now, I told you all I was busy this week. And I'm giving you a lot of call to actions. But I do want to tell you a story about how there are so many ways that you can show small acts of kindness. Now, many of you know that I quilt, and I'm in a quilting guild. And a guild, for those who do not know, because sometimes people might not know this. A lot of times people think this is seen locally, but this is a global podcast. And so A guild is a group of people who get together who have a common interest. And our common interest is quilting. And so, what we did, we wanted to do acts of kindness. And so we made hearts, you all, out of uh, fabric. And we, would line them and we put a little message on it. And we would drop it places, unexpected places. And it would say, if you find me, keep me. Cute little messages on it. Can you imagine people finding those? And also a lady at the church made a square prayer. She crocheted them, and it had a cute little, sweet little message on it. And we gave those to the cancer patients at Ingalls Hospital, the cancer division there. We have given so many things there that they have written us, the hospital writes us a thank you. But last year we got a thank you from one of the patients there. It was so touching, you know. And, most people don't know that I'm a softie, but I really am. Okay. So my challenge for you this week, this is for everybody. Brighten someone's day this week. Brighten someone's day this week. That's your challenge. Now, I done gave you two or three. I done gave you 2 or 3 things to do. I'm looking for my water. Already. I do want to say that the weather is very hot, y'all, and you need to stay hydrated. Okay, so drink as much fluids and things that you possibly can. Uh, Not pop, but water and stuff like that. You need to, so you can stay, hydrated. So I just showed you how to share your sweetness. And also the challenge of the week is to brighten someone's day this week. And I'm telling you, I'm not just telling you this for you. I'm going to do it too. Whatever I give you to do, I'm going to do. Okay? So, what is one little thing that brings you joy every single day? One little thing that brings you joy every single day. I'm waiting a few minutes to see if someone's going to make some comments in the comment section. But I can tell you the one little thing that brings me joy every single day is drinking a cup of coffee. I get up every morning and drink a cup of coffee. Now, I am grateful that I get up in the morning. But I'm talking about one thing that brings me joy. I get up. I'm happy after I get that cup of coffee. And this is the time of the year where I really love it. I fix my coffee, and I have a enclosed patio or back porch, however you want to call it. And I go out there, and it's just like meditating time for me. with that cup of coffee, and I just drink my coffee and I watch the birds. It's so peaceful and quiet there. But and that little moment there is not long. I wish it was, but um, that little moment right there brings me joy. Okay. So let's talk a little bit also about coffee break. You know, this is coffee, cake, and conversation with Anna. So we need to have a cake break. Now, come on, y'all. If we were sitting together right now, what dessert would you bring to the table? Would it be a chocolate cake? Would it be a peach cobbler? Would it be a cheesecake? What about an apple pie or cookies? Tell me your favorite. And don't be surprised if it shows up in a future conversation. And don't that cake look good up there? That's a strawberry cake. Mmm. And you know, this is the summertime, so this is a good time for that cake. Now, I make that cake, but I also make a different type of strawberry cake as well. So you might get that recipe in one of my future episodes, or but because I do plan to share some of my things. Remember, this is coffee, cake, and conversation with Anna. And so Anna is a very intricate individual. Anna does many, many, many things. That's why Anna has a website called Anna's Lifestyles, LLC. And in that website, I have all of my businesses under there, my hobbies, my podcasts, my baking, just everything is up under my website. So go there and look at it. You can also like and subscribe to it as well. And then if you have any questions or you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me at info@annaslifestylellc.com. Okay? So if we're talking about a cake break, and if I was bringing a cake, and now my cake is not even on there. I make lots of cakes, but I make this sour cream pound cake, and I think that will probably be. I get a lot of requests for that, and I think that will probably be what I would bring uh, there. All right. So, you know, I want to leave you this evening with the sweet blessings of the week. May your heart be filled with gratitude for life's simple joys. May you find beauty in ordinary moments, peace in quiet places, and reasons to smile every day. I want to say thank you for attending the episode this evening. And I hope that in some kind of way I have inspired you. I hope that in some kind of way I have encouraged you. And I hope that in some kind of way I have empowered you to live that fulfilling and blessed lifestyle. So I want to say, let me remove this real quick. I want to say, as we finish tonight's episode, I do have notes. I told y'all I have notes. Um, as we finish tonight's episode or conversation, I hope you'll take a moment this week to slow down and appreciate the little things that makes life sweet. Thank you for spending time with me tonight. Your support, your comments, and your stories are part of what makes this community so special. Until next time, keep shining your light. Keep sharing your blessings. And remember that remember the sweetest moments in life are often the simplest ones. So, this is Anna L. Brothers, and I'll see you soon for another cup of coffee, another slice of cake, and another meaningful conversation. Have a great. Oh, before I leave, I almost forgot. I almost forgot. I do want to. Let me put this up here right quick. Hold on. But before I leave, I want to let you all know. I know I have been saying this, but my book is coming out. You remember the book? This is the book. Okay. This is um, the actual book with my bio or whatever on the back. But we are having a launch this month. And I would like to invite everyone to come. It is July 19th. It is a virtual event. And these are all of the authors who are in the book. And later on, I'm going to have them on my show. But let me do this real quick. Because at the bottom of the page, right here, this is where you can log in and find out about the conference. Okay? July 19th. It is from 6 to 8:30. I am going to be a guest speaker there. So I wanted to invite you to come to that as well. Okay, before I went off, I always forget something, but I did want to make sure that you were aware of it, and I will try next week. I will also uh, remind everyone about it because I think you have to register. But I did give you that information on the bottom. So again, I want to say good evening and thanks for joining Sweet Blessings.